My dear, meet me where your silence shouts louder than your words ever could. Meet me beyond broken promises, where love is raw, fierce, and unashamed. Meet me in the cracks of your soul, where healing begins with honesty. Meet me in the dark, where our shadows dance without fear or shame. Meet me where your heart still remember how to bleed beautifully. Meet me at the edge of regret, where forgiveness blooms quietly. Meet me in the echo of our last goodbye, where truth still lingers. Meet me beneath the weight of your unspoken pain and let it fall. Meet me where your tears carve rivers of forgotten love. Meet me in the space between heartbreak and hope's fragile dawn. Meet me in the silence you hide behind your strongest smile. Meet me where your scars tell stories you never dared to share. Meet me where love feels like a reckless surrender to the infinite. Meet me in the trembling pause before your heart dares to trust again. Meet me where broken dreams still whisper promises of new beginnings. Meet me where your soul trembles with the ache of lost connection. Meet me in the rawness of your unfiltered, unguarded truth. Meet me where vulnerability is a rebellion against loneliness. Meet me where your lips tremble, trying to speak the unspeakable. Meet me where your heartbeat is a secret prayer for love's return. Meet me where your past doesn't define you, but fuels your fire. Meet me in the quiet chaos of your conflicted heart. Meet me where your soul aches with both longing and fear. Meet me where your love has been bruised but refuses to fade. Meet me in the storm where your tears are baptized into healing. Meet me where your silence is louder than the world's noise. Meet me where your soul's cracks let the light flood in. Meet me beneath the weight of your regret, where grace waits. Meet me where your broken heart still beats with wild hope. Meet me where your love is both a wound and a cure. Meet me where the past tries to haunt, but fails to hold you. Meet me in the sacred space between fear and fearless love. Meet me where your soul bleeds truths you never dared to speak. Meet me where your heart remembers the language of belonging. Meet me where your tears cleanse the lies you once believed. Meet me where your heart aches with the beauty of loving deeply. Meet me where your silence carries the weight of unspoken love. Meet me where your soul dances with the ghosts of lost love. Meet me in the quiet rebellion of your restless, yearning heart. Meet me where your love is raw, wild, and unapologetically true. Meet me where your brokenness becomes a bridge to something whole. Meet me where your soul sings the song of second chances. Meet me where your heart whispers secrets only the stars can hear. Meet me where your love refuses to be tamed or forgotten. Meet me in the stillness where your soul remembers how to hope. Meet me where your heart trembles with the courage to forgive. Meet me where your scars become stars, guiding you back to love. Meet me in the hush between your heartbeats and dreams. Meet me where your silence is a prayer wrapped in longing. Meet me where your soul remembers the taste of pure love. Meet me where your love breaks free from the chains of fear. Meet me where your heart aches in the name of true freedom. Meet me in the sacred spaces your words dare not enter. Meet me where your soul is tired but still fiercely alive. Meet me where your love is a flame, wild and untamed. Meet me where your broken pieces gather to form a new whole. Meet me in the sacred fire of your most honest love. Meet me where your heart is a warrior, tender yet unbreakable. Meet me where your love shatters silence into 1,000 truths. Meet me where your soul aches with both pain and beauty. Meet me in the quiet moments your heart screams for connection. Meet me where your love is a wild river refusing to be dammed. Meet me where your soul remembers the softness of sacred touch. Meet me where your heart finds the courage to love again. Meet me where your silence is louder than all your fears. Meet me in the place your love refuses to surrender or hide. Meet me where your soul aches, but your spirit still rises. Meet me where your heart breaks open to let love flood in. Meet me where your love is fierce enough to heal all wounds. Meet me where your soul trembles in the face of raw truth. Meet me where your silence speaks louder than your words ever could. Meet me where your heart dances on the edge of letting go. Meet me in the sacred space between love's pain and joy. Meet me where your love burns bright despite every shadow. Meet me where your soul aches for a love fearless and true. Meet me where your heart remembers how to dream wildly again. Meet me where your silence is a hymn of hope and healing. Meet me in the quiet storm of your restless, aching heart. Meet me where your love becomes a fierce act of survival. Meet me where your soul whispers truths that no one else hears. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. Meet me where your heart is raw, tender, and fiercely alive. Meet me where your love blooms in the ashes of yesterday. Meet me where your silence is sacred, full of unspoken prayers. Meet me where your soul dances with the ghosts of hope. Meet me in the quiet strength of your broken, healing heart. Meet me where your love breaks chains and rebuilds kingdoms. Meet me where your heart trembles with the courage to trust again. Meet me where your silence is the loudest confession of love. Meet me in the sacred fire of your most vulnerable truths. Meet me where your soul aches, yet still reaches for the light. Meet me where your love defies the rules of time and pain. Meet me where your heart whispers secrets to the waiting stars. Meet me where your silence holds the power to transform worlds. Meet me where your soul remembers how to love without fear. Meet me where your heart breaks open to receive wild, fierce love. Meet me in the sacred quiet where your deepest dreams awaken. Meet me where your love roars like a storm against the night. Meet me where your silence speaks the language of the universe. Meet me where your heart dares to love beyond all boundaries. Meet me where your soul shines brightest, wild, free, and unbroken. Meet me where your heart bleeds truth no one else dares to see. Meet me where your soul is restless, craving love's fierce awakening. Meet me in the space where your silence tells the loudest story. Meet me where your love burns like wildfire, untamable and pure. Meet me where your heart breaks open to swallow the dawn. Meet me where your tears water the garden of your healing. Meet me where your soul whispers prayers only moonlight can hear. Meet me where your love is a quiet rebellion against all odds. Meet me where your heart aches with the beauty of raw desire. Meet me in the place where your brokenness becomes sacred art. Meet me where your soul trembles at the edge of new beginnings. Meet me where your silence hides the loudest, deepest love. Meet me where your heart finds courage in the face of loss. Meet me where your love is a wild song that never dies. Meet me where your soul remembers how to bleed and breathe. Meet me where your tears paint stories of hope on broken walls. Meet me where your heart's shadow dances with light's fierce embrace. Meet me where your love blooms despite every thorn and storm. Meet me where your silence is filled with unspoken promises. Meet me where your soul ignites a fire no pain can quench. Meet me where your heart aches for love's wild, unfiltered truth. Meet me where your brokenness is the doorway to your power. Meet me where your soul cries in colors words cannot hold. Meet me where your love refuses to be small or silent. Meet me where your heart's whispers rewrite the rules of longing. Meet me where your silence carries the weight of 1,000 dreams. Meet me where your soul reaches out, trembling for connection. Meet me where your love is both a wound and a fierce healer. Meet me where your heart shatters, only to become more whole. Meet me where your silence holds the deepest, rawest truths. Meet me where your soul remembers the taste of sacred fire. Meet me where your love sings the song of fearless surrender. Meet me where your heart beats loudest, despite all the scars. Meet me where your broken dreams are seeds of wild hope. Meet me where your silence breaks like thunder in the night. Meet me where your soul burns with the ache of true love. Meet me where your love roars against every shadow and doubt. Meet me where your heart dances on the edge of forever. Meet me where your silence hides the loudest act of faith. Meet me where your soul breathes light into the darkest pain. Meet me where your love burns fierce enough to melt fear. Meet me where your heart trembles with the weight of belonging. Meet me where your brokenness hums the song of new life. Meet me where your silence whispers louder than any vow. Meet me where your soul dares to love beyond all limits. Meet me where your heart aches, wild and unrestrained. Meet me where your love is a flame against the coldest night. Meet me where your silence becomes the language of longing. Meet me where your soul awakens to fierce, fearless love. Meet me where your heart remembers how to trust the impossible. Meet me where your brokenness is the light no one else sees. Meet me where your love shakes the foundations of your past. Meet me where your silence hides the most tender rebellion. Meet me where your soul burns with unyielding devotion. Meet me where your heart breaks open and refuses to close. Meet me where your love is the wildest prayer you've ever known. Meet me where your silence hums with the promise of healing.